Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Samurai Goddess. The goddess next door takes on kung fu killers in this action-packed martial arts Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Samurai Goddess in paperback and e-readers today. Chris Nolan, David Goyer, Zack Snyder, Jon Favreau, Joss Whedon, Bryan Singer, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Pine, and many others in Hollywood owe a debt of gratitude to Wesley Snipes. Now, when it comes down to the superhero movie genre, many of these people that I have previously mentioned, they pretty much made their careers in the superhero movie genre. But there would not be a superhero movie genre for any of these people to work in to create the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the X-Men universe at Fox or the Spider-Man universe that Sam Raimi created if it wasn't for Wesley Snipes. Now, a lot of people don't know how much impact Wesley Snipes had on the superhero movie genre because before Wesley Snipes made the movie Blade, the superhero movie was dead. And the reason why it was dead was due to Joel Schumacher's two Batman movies, Batman Forever, which came out in 95, and Batman and Robin, which came out in 1997. Now, these two movies pretty much derailed the superhero movie just after Tim Burton had gotten it back on track with Batman from 89 and Batman Returns. But when Schumacher came out with his campy, silly Batman movies, they pretty much derailed the superhero movie genre. That and other flops such as Spawn, Steel, and some other obscure superhero movies that came out in the 90s. That was pretty much has sent the superhero movie genre into a tailspin, and it pretty much flatlined it with the failure of Batman and Robin. And when Wesley Snipes came out with Blade, that pretty movie pretty much revived the entire superhero movie genre. Moreover, that movie pretty much launched the careers of two very prominent people in the Batman universe, your Chris Nolan and your David Goyer, because it was their screenplay and their vision for Blade that led to them getting jobs in creating Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. If it wasn't for Blade giving them a foundation to work with, there wouldn't be any Batman as people knew it in the 2000s. What a lot of people don't understand, again, is that Wesley Snipes pretty much laid that foundation with Blade. And as one of the producers of the Blade movie, he had a hand in its vision and he had a hand in getting the film pretty much produced. Because what a lot of people don't know about Wesley Snipes is Wesley Snipes was an A-list actor. He was a top star back in the 1990s. Before Denzel Washington was a bankable star, Wesley Snipes was a bankable star. And he had pretty much established his career in a series of successful movies like White Men Can't Jump and movies like Demolition Man and many other films where he pretty much was a center star and had proven he had bank and influence. And he wanted to make a superhero movie, so he came up with a way of creating this Blade character. And pretty much just like Luke Cage today, he took this obscure Marvel character and he decided to um, revamp this character more towards his own vision and his ideas. So he pretty much took that character and revamped it toward more towards his own vision. And what we saw on screen in Blade, pretty much, that was so fresh, exciting, and different that it pretty much brought this entire superhero movie genre back to life because Blade was a huge hit, and because Blade was a huge hit, people started having confidence to go out here and make superhero movies again. But most people will not give Wesley Snipes the credit he deserves or the respect that he is due for reviving the superhero movie genre because there would be no superhero movie genre if it wasn't for Wesley Snipes using his A-list status and influence to go out here and pretty much kick that door back open with Blade for the superhero movie genre. Because after Blade came out, that's when the studio started getting confidence in superhero films again, and we saw them make Bryan Singer's X-Men, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, Ang Lee's Hulk, that Daredevil movie, and then in 2008 we got Iron Man and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for Wesley Snipes, a black man, making the effort when the superhero movie genre was dead to go out here and make a movie like Blade. So, all those people who watch superhero movies, you need to say thank you to Wesley Snipes, because Wesley Snipes was the man who pretty much opened the door for all these people to have a career in superhero movies and for things like the Marvel Cinematic Universe to have a foundation to be built on. All of this was established because one black man had enough courage to take a risk on things, and sadly, black people have never gotten the recognition that they were due, or haven't even gotten a push towards anything after that. I mean, after Wesley Snipes made all those efforts to get a superhero movie made with a black character in it, a lot of people thought, oh, it's going to lead to more black superhero movies. Even though the film was a box office hit, we didn't see any efforts made towards bringing more black characters to the screen. And when I look at this Black Panther movie that's coming out right now, I see the same argument coming up, talking about how this is going to lead to doors opening. And when I hear those arguments, I think about Halle Berry's 2002 Oscar speech when she said, oh, this Oscar win is going to lead to more doors opening for black women. And I look at the pattern of Hollywood, and it just shows me how little appreciation black people get and how they keep seeing the same pattern repeating itself. I look at how Blade pretty much revived the superhero movie genre, and people thought that was going to lead to opportunities, yet all the doors closed for black people. Halle Berry wins the Oscar for Monsters Ball. Black people thought that was going to lead to doors opening, and that led to no doors opening at all. And I look at many of these Negro nerds who are sitting here thinking that the Black Panther movie is going to lead to doors opening without ever taking a look at the historical pattern of seeing what happens when black people make efforts to do things to help black media, and then all they get is a big short end of the stick. And this is the pattern I have seen with Hollywood as it relates to black media. Black people will open the door, they will get no thanks and no gratitude, and then a whole bunch of white people will walk right through that door, and no blacks will get any opportunities whatsoever. And this is why I was a big fan of what Michael Jai White did with Black Dynamite and what Ava DuVernay did with I Will Follow. Instead of trying to open a door that will only be pushed through by a bunch of white people, they decided to make their own stuff and distribute their own stuff. And they've had tremendous success by going out here and doing their own properties. Ava DuVernay, a couple of years ago, made a film called I Will Follow, and she pretty much didn't go the traditional route. She got her film in theaters, she got it distributed, and she made a profit with a black distributor. And the Michael Jai White and Scott Sanders with Black Dynamite did the same as well. And they pretty much created a popular character that pretty much did well with in there by themselves, and they went outside of the mainstream. So when I look at them and I look at what they did, it pretty much shows me in this age of online streaming and streaming media that and outside distribution, you really don't need Hollywood to make a black property. All the tools are there to make your own property and pretty much get your property out to the public. But because black people want white acceptance, they believe that the movies like Black Panther and Blade are the way to open the doors for black people, when we clearly see from historical pattern with Halle Berry, Wesley Snipes, and maybe in a year or so with this Black Panther movie, the door is still going to be closed as it relates to black people in certain genres of film. The reason why they don't like seeing black people in certain genres of film like superheroes is because no one wants to see a black man on the same level as white people, especially in white-owned media. And this is something that goes over the heads of many people as it relates to media in general. They don't understand that they just don't want to see, they're not going to pay money to put a black hero on a screen that is owned by white people, because that's a forum for white people. We can still make our own heroes, but we have to understand the platforms that are out here. Ava DuVernay understood it, Scott Sanders and Michael Jai White understood it, and most black people don't understand it. They don't have a vision for the future. I mean, you see Wesley Snipes pretty much He was slapped in the face after he made those Blade movies. We thought it was going to lead to more black films, and all it led to was us being ignored and forgotten. And no one has really stepped back to give Wesley Snipes the due and the respect that he has been deserving for what he did back in the 90s. Because when you look at what he did, he opened the door for all these superhero movies which made billions of dollars. And this man got next to nothing at the end of the day. He didn't even get, regarded with any sort of thanks, appreciation, or gratitude. And this man pretty much opened a door that made over a couple of $1 billion for people. If it wasn't for him creating Blade, not creating Blade, but using his influence to get Blade made, we would not have this entire $1 billion superhero movie genre as we know it right now. It was his influence that did that, but no one will ever make an effort to acknowledge the impact of him going out here and making Blade. They'll sit there and say Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man pretty much opened the doors, but if it wasn't for Wesley Snipes pretty much back in the 90s doing something, we'd have never seen anybody take a risk on superheroes after that, because Batman and Robin was so bad, Spawn and Steel and many of those other 90s movies were so bad that Hollywood wanted nothing to do with the superhero movie until they saw the success of Blade. And that's what's really sad about it is that black people don't see how we get, every time we go out here and open a door, we never get to profit from any of the opportunities we create for ourselves. And that there are other ways for us to go about things, but we're just too afraid to go about them, because when it comes down to superheroes and superhero movies, I find that it's more about white acceptance than creating a vision of what could be for black people. If you like what you see on this channel, you can donate to my Patreon and help me make more videos. And if you want to try some of the books in the SJS Direct universe, you may do so by clicking the link to the Amazon.com in the description box, and it'll take you to where all my titles are. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.